And you remember what you saw down there, though?
I just remember seeing blood on the floor, the bottom of the stairs. That's all I can remember.
Today, you're about to learn how a burned metal trunk, a mother who vanished, and 16 years of silence finally cracked open a murder case no one thought would ever be solved.
Well, I know
As crazy as it sounds, as f***ed up as my family has been, there's nothing and no reason as a child who has seeked out her father why I would want to take a father from one of my siblings.
A single act that didn't just end a life, but shattered an entire family.
I would pray that the truth comes out and my mom finally gets what she deserves, and me and Chris don't suffer this.
May 8th, 2002. A farmer in Grand Haven, Michigan found a smoking metal footlocker in his blueberry field. Inside was a charred body, burned beyond recognition. Police arrived to find a corpse so badly damaged that identification seemed impossible. But through the fire damage, one thing was clear. This man had been beaten to death. Severe head trauma, injuries matching hammer blows. With no ID and no matches in the system, he became known as the Jack in the Box case, a John Doe in a trunk with no name, no family, no justice. For 13 years, the case went cold. Then, in 2015, an email changed everything. A young woman named Cicely Caraballo contacted police with a shocking claim. The burned man was her father, Roberto Caraballo, who vanished when she was 9 years old. She was right. Dental records confirmed it. Roberto Caraballo, 37 years old, living in Charlotte, nearly 100 miles from where his body was dumped. Police finally had their victim, and soon they'd have 3 suspects in a planned murder. Roberto Caraballo was a Dominican immigrant living illegally in the U.S. He'd been involved in family drug trafficking before. When his niece filed a missing persons report, she explained that Roberto's family suspected foul play but were too afraid to report it, fearing retaliation. They were wrong about the motive. Roberto had been married to Beverly McCallum. Together they had 2 stepdaughters, Denine and Tasha, and 1 biological daughter, Cicely. Cicely's email to police included a haunting memory. Court documents preserve her account. Cicely remembered being rushed in the middle of the night and placed into the family's van along with Tasha, the defendant, Denine, and Beverly. They traveled for quite some time, and Cicely eventually fell asleep. She woke up to an explosion. When she looked out the back window, she saw defendant running from a burning wooded area, trying to catch up with the moving van. The next morning, Roberto's belongings were gone and there was a padlock on the basement door. Cicely never saw Roberto again and was told he had left for Canada. She found it strange that Roberto's vehicles were still in the driveway. Cicely's account pointed to Roberto's wife, Beverly. But when Beverly heard police were investigating, she fled. First to Italy, then Pakistan, then back to Italy. With their main suspect gone, detectives spent 3 years tracking down everyone connected to the case. That's when they found Denine Ducharm, Beverly's eldest daughter. She'd been 21 when Roberto disappeared. Dinine's first interview was explosive. She claimed that on May 7th, 2002, her mother and Roberto fought in the basement. Beverly came upstairs and told Denine, and a young man named Chris McMillan who was visiting, that she'd killed Roberto. Then she convinced them to help dispose of the body. But detectives were suspicious. One detail stood out: Chris McMillan, a name that hadn't appeared anywhere else. When they finally tracked him down, he hadn't spoken to Denine or Beverly since 2002. His story was completely different. Chris claimed Denine and Beverly had planned the murder together and manipulated him into helping. We don't have video of Chris's interviews, but we have audio from 2018. In it, he describes how Beverly and Denine told him Roberto was abusing the children. That's why they needed him gone. Years later, Chris believes it was all a lie.
So, I was hanging out with her. I guess I thought I might have some kind of shot with her. And that was like all fucking bullshit stories and crap. So I got in with their mother and we'd go out to the mall with the little kids and they would fucking steal shit and put them in bags and then like load the whole fucking car up with junk. It looked like a fucking gypsy parade in that house. Mm-hmm. Well, she fucking went on and that the kids were being abused sexually and dude was always fucking violent and drunk. So
that was her story?
Yeah. wanted him gone or whatever, and it's pretty much what they did.
Who told you that the kids were being stuff?
Beverly and Denine.
Did you ever see any signs of that?
They acted weird.
They acted weird. How so?
Just skittish.
Okay. Beverly and Roberto, they fight a lot or not fight that much? Or and I'm not looking for the... I'll tell you right now, I want to hear the truth.
Look,
and only
they
the
fought.
truth.
They fought when I was around. They fought when Denine was there and I wasn't. What I understood.
So you get there that evening. Had you been there a while and something happened, or you showed up, or you knew something was gonna?
It felt weird. Like I said, I didn't think they would do it.
How long had they been talking about it?
3 days maybe.
And their reason for that was what they told you?
Abuse with the girls.
Okay. Beverly complaining about abuse with herself?
Yeah, she was abusing him.
Sure.
No, I remember her crying a whole fucking lot. She had these big ass fucking mascara spots.
Did Beverly or Denine tell you what they were going to do, or because you said you didn't think that this was actually going to happen?
Right. I just didn't think they would. Didn't think they would do that.
But the days before that, what did they say was going to happen that you didn't think was going to happen?
I wasn't around a lot.
Basically, Chris,
Like that.
are they talking about they're going to teach him a lesson and beat him up, or are they going to do something else?
I'm sure whatever conversations them two had in between themselves is a lot different than the conversations when I was around or
when you were
when I was around one of them.
When you were
So
standing
they already
down there
knew.
going over the plan, though, the plan wasn't to scare him and say boo. The plan wasn't to hit him a couple times and teach him a lesson. The plan was what?
Maybe that's what the rope was for. Maybe they were going to tie him up.
But you had just said that you had some you weren't part of all the conversations,
Right.
but you're part of some. What were those conversations?
Like sitting around the table, after the kids are in bed and just conversating over cards. It's almost like they were fucking planting seeds.
But tell me what you mean by that.
They didn't let me in on everything, that's for sure.
What did they let you in on?
Well, I mean, evidently the kids weren't abused, were they? Were they or weren't they?
That's first we've heard of that. So
Fucking assholes. They played that abuse card on me like a fucking fiddle. And looking back, fucking assholes.
Chris came clean about everything, including his own involvement. He described how Beverly shoved Roberto down into the basement. Then both Beverly and Denine attacked him, beating him around the head with a bat and a hammer before tying a plastic bag around his face. Roberto suffocated to death. Chris claimed he didn't strike Roberto himself, but he watched, and he helped them remove the hammer from Roberto's skull, and he helped them transport the body to Grand Haven.
Well, I mean, basically, I was an accomplice.
okay, how so? Those two had been talking about it.
Well, and then whenever Oh, they put a bag on his head, too. They had to have help getting him up after that. So they had fucking waited until I was there. Probably had that shit planned out to the fucking T. I think a bat. And then there's a Denine with a hammer. It's fucking terrible.
Beverly with a bat and Denine with a hammer. Is this something that, I mean, was planned way in advance, or because you mentioned that they were talking about it ahead of time? What was that about?
I came over and I guess they had already had this all planned out, and I was gonna go in the basement
And do what?
and smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they put him in a fucking trunk, and you know what they did with him. Alright, so once he was in the fucking trunk, we took him upstairs and fucking put him in a van, got the girls, drove out somewhere where she fucking went, off a dirt road, dumped the box, burnt the box, set on fire, whatever. Came back, she changed the tires on the fucking van, sold it.
Chris was certain Denine had been directly involved. He'd seen it happen, even if 16 years had blurred some of the details. And as detectives compared his story to the physical evidence, the scene at the house, the remains at the Blueberry Farm, witness accounts, everything lined up. Dinine's story? It didn't. Since they couldn't yet reach Beverly, detectives had one more interrogation to conduct before taking this to trial. And this time, they weren't going in blind. Keep this in mind. Denine hasn't spoken to Chris McMillan in 16 years. She gave police his name hoping he'd confirm her version of events. Walking into this interrogation, she has no idea that the man she trusted has just pinned the murder directly on her. And it shows. From the moment Denine enters the room, her body language is relaxed, almost casual. She's mid-story, laughing with the officers. It's 2018 now, 3 years after her first interview, and she's currently serving time in Jacksonville, Florida, for an unrelated crime. She seems to believe her mother will take the fall for everything.
And I was like, really, what did I sing? And he was like, Elvis Presley. I was like, I couldn't tell you one Elvis Presley lyric or song. I was like, that was nothing but the Holy Spirit keeping my body alive, dude, because I had no clue.
Because you didn't know any Elvis.
I had no clue, not one. Still to this day, I don't. And so anyways, long story short, it was like really, like heart-wrenching, like, oh my God, thank you so much, but.
Holy cow.
It
Let me
was
get a
really
key and
weird.
I'll take those,
Thank
those
you.
off you real
No
quick,
worries.
okay? I'll be right back.
Gotcha.
What was your name, honey?
Ducharm, Denine.
Denine?
Okay.
When the detective finally enters, Denine is still in social mode. She and this detective already have history. They've spoken before about the case. They spend the first few minutes catching up, chatting about Beverly's disappearance. It puts Denine at ease. She feels safe, in control. She has no idea what's coming.
So where's, your partner, Bill? And then Bill?
Bob?
Bob.
Bob retired.
Oh.
Bob left me on my own, so.
Did
but
they give you a new partner yet?
What's it? Well, he was from a different county, remember?
Oh, yeah.
I'm from Lansing area, and then
Okay.
he's from Grand Rapids area.
Grand Rapids,
So,
okay.
because he's where
Y'all
it
just
was
got
found.
together because of the case.
Yeah, and he's like where it was found, and I'm where it happened.
Oh,
So,
gotcha.
but I'm done. My investigation is.
So what's going on now?
My investigation is over. I am done. I'm like, found out you were here. I was like, I'll stop and talk to her real quick, and
So you were just in Florida?
yeah.
And
Florida
you just found
and
out
Texas.
I was here?
And Texas.
Or
yeah.
you came because I was here?
No.
You just happened to be here. We're like, I know this person?
Yeah, I actually had to be in Texas
Strange.
too, and
Did you
I'm,
get
I'm on like a
time
little
off?
world tour this year. It seems like I've been going out of state all
Did you
the
make it
time.
to India yet?
Well,
I heard that's where she's at. Somebody said she's in India.
Pakistan.
Pakistan.
She's
Yeah.
in Pakistan. I know where she's
My
at.
sister posted it on Facebook. My middle
Which
sister.
one?
Tasha.
Tasha did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where she's at, but she probably thinks she's safe there too. But.
Then the detective drops it casually, like it's no big deal. He found Chris.
Did you find everything you needed?
I found everything. I'm
God.
completely done, and that's what I was going to share a couple things with you, and I found Chris.
Did you?
I found Chris, and
How's he doing? I'm just curious. He was a good guy.
he is a good guy. He's a really good, I like him. I got along
I
great
love
with
him.
him. He's a
Secretly,
good guy.
that's a guy I fell in love with, and my
He's-
mom ruined everything.
He's a good egg. I like him, and yeah, I've talked to him quite a few times. Things aren't going the best for him, but that's what some stuff he told me that he shot me pretty straight. I know I did. I know he was. I know he was pretty honest with me.
Did he
but
confirm things that I said?
Well, yeah, some stuff that he told me kind of confused me a little on some stuff, but yeah, I wanted to talk. I wanted to go over some stuff with you, but tell you some stuff. But before I do that,
Is he
you're in
healthy all
custody.
right?
So before we get talking too much,
Okay.
you're in custody. I want to do things the right way.
The interrogation officially begins, and the detective takes his time. He knows what Chris said. He knows it implicates Denine directly, and he knows this could set her off.
I'll tell you a few things because it kind of confused me. I think he'd been waiting for me kind of like for years, he'd been waiting for that knock on the door to come and somebody to ask him about this shit. And he after a few minutes of us talking, man, he just kind of unloaded everything on me. And I won't go into a lot of detail because that's what I'm talking. I don't want to tell you everything he said because I want to be fair to him. But I'll tell you a few things because it confused me. But yeah, he unloaded his whole story and confessed to being part of everything. And I could see after he did it, this like weight go off his shoulders. Seriously, I mean, it was like he was. I mean, you can see that when you do my job, you can see that a lot of times when people, tell you the real story finally or come clean. It's like, they freaking, you almost see this thing come off them, and then they're like, good, it's over. Now I'll move forward. But that's kind of like, I've never seen anybody happen more than it happened with him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I felt bad for him because he seems like a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe got caught up in some stuff that wasn't his deal, but yeah, what he told me painted a pretty clear picture, and I've been looking into this case so long that I knew he was being honest with me because yeah, I mean, it matched everything that I already knew, so I knew he was being pretty honest with me. Yeah, he told me some stuff quite a few things I didn't know too, but the basic part of it was he got it off his shoulders, and I don't know, he's got to deal with it now. I mean, so I was just glad I found him.
Good.
What?
I was just worried that, you wouldn't find him. The one thing, like, burned into my brain was the last time I seen you, you were like,
Getting
well,
your DNA? Was it the last time?
I think so, but no, the thing you said was, you better be thinking about what will prove that you didn't do it and your mom did or something like that, because that right there, like, burned in my brain, and I was like, oh my God, if you don't find Chris, like, my mom is the type of evil bitch that would totally manipulate it around the opposite way.
Denine still thinks Chris backed her up, that he told police her mother acted alone. The detective is about to shatter that illusion.
Well, that's what I'm confused about. That's my biggest thing I'm confused about is why you told me that Chris even existed.
Because me and him were on the couch in the little room off to the side, and that would be the only person that confirmed that I didn't plan, plot, or have anything to do with this. We were sitting in the room, and that was that. I mean, it all just came.
That's the problem.
Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, wait, what just happened? Well, what did you just say?
The detectives are baffled by Dinine's strategy. She hasn't spoken to Chris in 16 years. She has no idea what he'll say. Yet she handed him to police on a silver platter, the only living witness who could directly tie her to the murder. Why would she take that risk?
Well, that's why I asked you that, because he doesn't. Don't get me wrong. Like he's kind of like you are. Like, oh, Chris was a good guy, but and he's like, same way about you. Like, oh, I miss her. I don't talk to her, and he like doesn't have like any hard feelings towards you, but he. I don't know how to explain, but he's not like has any kind of hard feelings towards you or your mom, but he's not happy about the situation he got put into. That's how to describe it. It's weird, but that's not the story. I will say that I won't go into specifics. I'll give you a couple, so you know I'm not bullshitting you. Okay, but that's not the story he told. Was the one you said about the couch thing sitting on there. It was quite a bit different story about all three of you kind of being more planned out what was going to happen to Roberto. And that's why I'm like, why did she? And it wasn't like he's like trying to throw everything on you or your mom, or he wasn't like that. That's why I kind of respected him. You know, it was like he just shot me straight, and but I'm like, why the hell did you tell me that he even existed? Because he buried himself. He told me the truth. I think it was the truth.
Well,
Based on what I
plot
knew.
or plan to do anything to anybody, and he would be the only one that can confirm that we were sitting there playing the guitar, eating fucking pills, and smoking fucking weed, when everything was just like, bam, what the fuck happened? Wait, what?
That's what, like he, you mentioned about, like, you told me about cleaning up before, about your mom wanting to chip up the concrete and stuff.
She was just...
And he said the
It's
same
just so
thing.
much shit, to be honest with you. Like I keep telling you, like, I have spent years doing everything I possibly can to forget.
I believe that.
And not just that, with my injury, it's even more cloudy.
Throughout the interrogation, Denine leans heavily on her injury. Between her first interview in 2015 and now, she was in a serious accident that damaged her leg and caused significant head trauma. She claims it's affected her memory, and it becomes her go-to excuse whenever detectives push for details or point out contradictions.
Shit is like more scattered and cloudy than what it was prior to my accident. So from what I know in my heart, and I know that that wasn't something that I ever intended or plotted or planned or whatever. Like, that was never... I would not benefit a damn thing from doing that. And I honestly don't intend to hurt or harm or seek out pain to anybody. I really don't. I just do what I can to survive.
I believe that.
I've got some hang-ups, but I'm not a fucking crazy, insane person that's going around vindictively
Same thing with
doing
him.
crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I've got some issues, mainly because of that. I like to say that incident kind of forced me to do things that wasn't naturally into my pattern. I was really big into school and, things like that before all that shit happened. And
I think it's the same thing with him, because you look at this guy and I'm like, I wouldn't think he'd hurt a flea. I really wouldn't.
I really don't
But I
even
think
kill
it's-
bugs. You know what I'm saying? It's a really fucked up situation. And from what I can remember, I told you as straight as I could remember, as much as I could remember,
Okay.
straight to you from day one. And for me not to tell you about Chris would just be, why even go there? You know what I mean?
That's what I'm
So
confused
all I
about.
could do is tell you that there is another person, because y'all were kind of adamant that there wasn't, that it was just me and my mother. And I was like, no, there was. When you came and visited me, I think I had a picture or something with him in like the corner of one of my pageant pictures. And I showed it to you. It was like, it just had like a side of his face, a corner of his
that
face.
wasn't him. No, that was somebody else. But yeah, I remember that. But no, I mean, most
Okay.
of what you told me
So
was
it was like,
true.
all I could do is, just be as honest as what I could remember, all that I could tell you, all that I could remember, and just give you as much truth and facts that I had. So that is why I told you about Chris.
Well, that's the thing, yeah, because you were. That's why I wanted to ask you about it, because I wanted to be fair to you, because you told me a lot of truths about that he existed, about his name. I mean, his first name and his last name started with a Mick, you thought?
Yeah.
And he played the guitar, all which is true. I mean, his brother's not in the music business, but...
that was what
he,
I've known.
he
or
understood
that's what I was
why
told
maybe
or
you
something.
thought that, you know, because I don't know if you had a friend that was or something, a real good friend. You guys
Somebody's
used to-
house basement.
somewhere in
They
his
had
house
like
you
music
went to.
things on the wall,
Yeah.
plaques and gold things.
But no, that's what you were.
records.
You gave me that stuff, and I want to be fair to you because
Right.
I owe you that because you know, you didn't have to tell me that stuff, and I'm like, then I talked to Chris. I'm like, why did you tell me that stuff? What am I missing? I wanted to give you a chance to, like,
Yeah, I really.
and
I
if
never
you're missing
would
something
have
or I'm
plotted
missing
or planned
something,
to do anything, especially to Roberto. I mean,
well, I know
as
that.
crazy as it sounds, as fucked up as my family has been, there's nothing and no reason as a child who has seeked out her father why I would want to take a father from one of my siblings. I have suffered so much in my life not to have a father, or my biological father. So it's just against
Just like
everything.
Denine pivots. She shifts the focus back to her mother, Beverly. Everyone knows Beverly was the driving force. And Denine seems to believe that pointing back to her abusive, manipulative mother is her only move left.
Just like we said, though, you're not the type of person that's going to go out. I gotta worry about killing somebody every weekend for kicks. You know, it's but
just
welcome to my job because 95% of the people I
you
deal
come in
with
contact too. Yeah,
are
no.
people that normally wouldn't do something they did, but because of circumstances or because of a lifestyle they're having right then, or just a situation
no.
they get thrown into. No, I'm serious. That's what happens to 95% of people.
Yeah. Well,
that
my
are
mother
in
is not that breed. My mother,
Your mom is not that person.
Okay.
You're right.
Yeah, my mom is
Your
not
mom-
that breed. My
your
mom
mom
would
is
do
not.
anything and everything and to anyone, no matter what it takes. And that is something I had to cope with, and maintain sanity behind my entire life. And even not being in this country, she finds ways to still fuck me and fuck over me. And, you know, she'll send out my sister after me, or, you know, that's why we came here. It was like, it was nonstop. We couldn't get away from it. Then Tasha becomes vindictive. Oh, then she wants to set my car on fire, flatten all my fucking tires. Yeah, it's just a nonstop bullshit. All constant shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, you should try talking to your mother sometimes. And I was like, I have nothing to say to our mother. There's nothing I want to say to our mother. Why would I talk to her?
Right.
Cicely, same thing. Why don't you talk to mom? I was like, I don't want to talk to mom, Cicely. The only time you or Tasha should ever contact me is if you're contacting me to let me know my mother is dead. Other than that, I have nothing to say to y'all anymore. Nothing.
You don't talk to your mom. When's the last time you talked to your mom? Right after we were there? First time?
Right after my grandmother passed, inside the mosque thing.
So you haven't talked to her since we first met?
Mm-mm. When I spit in her face at the mosque, that was the last time I talked to her. When she buried my grandmother, that was Catholic nun, in a Muslim cemetery next to Ahmed Abdul. You got a Mary Cross Maglicetti. Her middle name is Cross.
I don't know. You're not the only member of your family that feels that way.
She is supposed to be in the Hudson River with my grandfather. It was in her will since 1985.
Yep, I remember all that, and
You know,
I just wonder if you'd just for any reason.
No, there is no reason. In fact, when I spoke to you guys and I was going through all that tizzy in Galveston, it was mainly because my mother had injected herself into my marriage. That's why I was in such a turmoil of chaos of what was going on between me and my husband. When y'all first seen y'all came and down,
Right.
and I was like packing and moving and all of that.
Yep.
Yeah, that is because my mother injected herself into our fucking marriage, and ever since then, it was like I spoke to y'all, and it was like maybe, finally, maybe, just maybe, I won't have to be haunted by her any longer.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's
Or,
not the case
you know,
because I'm still here.
Or, well, I don't consider you a haunt. I consider
What's
you
that?
I don't consider you a haunt. I consider you more of
Well,
a path to, resolving this.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. I am, like I said, I'm not lying to you. I'm all done with my
Yes, sir.
with my
Yeah,
stuff.
totally
It's
get
all
it.
completely done, and that's what that was my biggest thing was I didn't know why you gave me the information you did on Chris. Some of it wasn't right, but I don't know if that's because you were choosing for it not to be right, or if you were actually just mistaken because it's been so long.
I gave you everything.
I give
as straight as I
give you
could
the benefit of the
remember.
doubt and say, yeah, it's been a while. It's probably nobody remembers everything, you know.
And honestly, I've done enough drugs and everything to attempt to forget all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my main goal.
Yep. And
Is to black that shit out as fast as I could, if possible, which it's not possible.
no.
The detective begins to apply pressure, gently at first. He needs to tell her that Chris's story doesn't match hers, that it paints her as a willing participant in a planned murder. But Denine holds firm.
It's not possible, no matter how
I think
much you
Chris
do.
has tried to do the same stuff, try to block it, and you know, the more we talk, the more stuff that he remembers, and but yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff doesn't look good for you. It doesn't like shine a good light on you from, you know, what you told me the first time. It's more of a, you know, I do remember you saying something about, which I know is true, that Roberto, because when he got out of jail, you know, he's reading his Bible all the time, and he had a real problem with your lifestyle. You know, and so Chris had to act like he was your, you know, boyfriend and stuff, and so I know that was, and he didn't want you around much because of that, but and then your mom, she's got her own reasons for what she does, you know, but and
So what is the end verdict of your case, or whatever?
well, that's what I'm just trying to see if there's anything else that you want to tell me that I've got wrong. That I mean, because Chris painted it was more of a plotted out kind of story that your mom kind of spearheaded and was very much not. Because when you told me the story, it was like, sounded like they were kind of arguing, and he went downstairs, and she just was flipping out, right? And
She had been flipping out for weeks.
right.
I mean, I
Well,
really
it sounds like she always
tried
flips
to
out.
avoid her.
And
And I was stuck there because I had broke my foot. There was nothing else I could really fucking do but stay on the fucking couch, hope I got better faster, and could get the fuck out of there, back to work, and get the fuck out of there.
well, that's what. And Chris doesn't remember you having a broken foot. He said he had one. He said he had an air cast on. Do you remember that?
Yeah, he did have an air
So,
cast.
like,
Yeah.
just so you know, I actually talked to him, and I
No,
said,
no.
"You're bullshitting you."
I believe you.
But I could see it fall off a roof or something.
Yeah.
Remember?
St. John's Hospital has my medical records of it, though.
Okay. And you signed a waiver thing, a medical waiver thing for me, but I found him and thought you were mistaken, or I was, or something like that, because he had the cast on, he said. And like I said, I know how time goes by and people screw stuff up, but yeah, the story he told was more of a plotted out thing that you and your mom approached him with. Do you remember any reason though why
I never
you?
approached him with that. Never, not ever.
And I don't want to spoon feed you everything, but do you remember any reason you ever told him why maybe you or your mom, not counting that he didn't like your lifestyle, another reason why you guys would want Roberto on there?
I never said anything like that. I have no clue. I never approached him like that, ever. Not ever. Now, my mother,
Maybe your
I
mom.
don't know if my
Maybe your
mom
mom
did.
did.
I have no clue if my mom did. If she did, what she would even say, to be honest with you. Now, I know I didn't.
You never
I
say
would,
anything about it?
I would never do something like that. No, sir.
The detective needs to clarify one more critical detail from Chris's account, that Beverly and Denine told him Roberto was sexually abusing children. If true, it would be a motive. If false, it's further evidence of manipulation and premeditation.
So if he, because I'll tell you right now, that's what he said. He was approached and
By me.
by both of you.
Yeah, no.
It was
Not me.
because of something Roberto was doing to the girls.
That's
That's what he was
bullshit.
told.
Roberto ain't never did nothing but love them girls. The most I've ever seen him ever do was pinch Cicely. And he would pinch her like right here for doing something wrong. So that's bullshit. Roberto never did
So you
anything
can
to the
probably-
girls.
I'm being kind of, I mean, you know what I'm talking about then, what he's told me. I mean, he said that he was told that Roberto's molesting the girl. So that wouldn't be true. And he doesn't even believe it now. He doesn't believe it
I
now.
never,
but-
ever seen Roberto, even in the 9 years that we visited him in prison, in the 8 years that he lived with us prior to him going to prison, on any visitation, the years that before Tasha and Cicely were
Doesn't seem
born,
like
that
the
I
type.
had with Robert, he never did that to me when I was a youth. He was not that kind with Cicely or Tasha, so why would I say
He
that?
didn't give that vibe. And
He was not like that. Robert is not that kind of guy, and there has to be something that Chris is confused with or something because, or my mother approached him about it. But I definitely, and I would say till the day I died, that Robert wouldn't molest those children. And if he had, the first thing I would do is go straight to the freaking police. Take the children to the hospital, make a record, and go to the police. Are you crazy?
And that's why, because
They're going to need help if they're molested by their father that we can't help with.
good
No, that's
reason.
bullshit. If
There's
that's what my
never-
mom did, that's bullshit. That's complete fucking hypocrisy. It's fucking bullshit. Period. The man is not like that.
I'm not gonna argue with you on that.
The man was not
you
like
don't do
that.
something like that, but also though, I mean,
It really upsets me.
not that there's ever a good reason, but if you're gonna try to get somebody to help you do something like that, I guess that would maybe be the best thing you could say to motivate most men, you know, that aren't, because, you know, child molesters are hated. I mean, they're the worst of the worst. But so I thought of it that way, but then I thought, you know, obviously there's no good reason to help someone murder somebody, but then I thought, well, all the times I talked to Denine,
We didn't.
she never mentioned that once.
He didn't help.
And that
either.
would be like a reason she could tell me.
But now it comes back to the core of Chris's interview, that he accused both Beverly and Denine of murdering Roberto and provided more details of Denine's involvement. This is something Denine needs more time to process, but in the meantime, she leans on her memory issues again.
You know,
Chris
she
said
was
he
trying
helped
to.
murder him.
Yeah.
Well, we did.
I can't spoon feed you everything he said, but yes. Yeah. But
No, that's not how that happened. I mean, we're sitting on the couch in that room, and she came in there fucking just fucking wailing.
what? I mean, we were talking about the patch thing, the concrete patch.
I don't know anything about a concrete patch.
What's that?
I don't recall anything about a concrete
Well,
patch.
you had told me about a patch where, because your mom was trying to clean up so good that she was chipping up concrete in the basement.
I just don't remember.
But no, I mean, that was something you told me the first time we met. I think the first time we went down to Texas, you told me about that, and then I went back to the house, and sure enough, there's a concrete patch. But that, you know, Chris told me the same thing, but he said you laid the patch because you're really good at this stuff, and somebody else actually told me you're really good at like brickwork or mason.
Just
stuff.
tile before.
But I'm just telling you what I heard. I heard you're talented at that stuff. But he said that you did that patch in the basement. That was your work. He mixed it up for you, and you laid the patch.
I don't remember shit. I don't remember that.
Okay.
I don't even
But-
remember anything about a concrete patch, and I'm sorry.
Do you remember much of what you told me like
I
the
don't
first time
remember
we
even
met?
talking to you about a concrete patch. I'm sorry. It's probably part of my injury. Because I had
Which injury? The
an
one with your
traumatic
leg.
brain injury, yeah. But I mean,
You remember us talking though. and
I do
stuff,
remember you
because
talking,
you remember
but
things
there's
being
just-
hectic at your house.
there's things that it's like even like words stuff. It's kind of like your mind. You know, how you put things in order in your mind. The way so these are organized like in your brain. You kind of like when you think you can find it. You go back to a vision or image and you pull it up like that. Well, it's like it's there, but it's not in the right spot. Like you're like, I know this.
Mm-hmm.
That's I don't know how to explain it, but it's not there.
It kind of happens like that with concussions too. I've had really bad concussions.
It affects me with writing. I'm having issues with spelling things, sentences. I find a lot of loss of words,
Like
the
putting
right,
the right
word.
words to stuff?
Yeah, the right words
Yeah,
in the
I
right
gotcha.
sentence.
Yeah, that's what it's like
Sometimes I'm
then.
putting the wrong word, but there are memory losses and lapses and shit that's gone on too from the accident. But that I don't recall.
Things are falling apart for Denine. She knows Chris has come clean. The detective has made that clear. But will she? Since the interrogation began, Denine has maintained her innocence. She's cited her brain injury when her story doesn't hold up. She's redirected to her mother whenever she can't answer a question. But these tactics are wearing thin. The detective isn't buying it, especially the memory excuse. After all, if her memory is as damaged as she claims, why should they trust her version of events over Chris's? And Chris's story lines up with the physical evidence, with witness statements, with everything they know about the case. Denine's doesn't.
Recall shit about it.
'Cause he had a pretty good memory about that stuff. He remembered actually a lot of really good.
I don't
feelings.
remember talking to you about it. That's the weird thing. You're saying I told you about it, but I honestly don't recall.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I'm just saying he had a good memory about everything. About a lot of detail, and that's like I was telling you that time. The more detail you can give me, something I can go and back up. Where I believe you over if your mom
The
put
only
handcuffs
thing
on
that
her.
and that's what I told you, like the only one that could possibly add any more detail would be Chris, and I would think that he would do it in my favor, but
He didn't.
I didn't.
He didn't do it in your favor. And like I said, it wasn't like a way of like he was trying to put everything on you or everything on your mind. It was just like he told the story, and the cards fell where they fell, and a lot of it wasn't favorable for you. And I'm sitting there going, why did she give me Chris's name? I mean, because that kind of really ended up hurting you.
Well, I mean, I'm just being honest with you. I mean,
Okay, I'm being honest
I've
with
just
you.
always been that way. I mean, that was all I could do. I gave you everything I could remember and all that I could in every way that I could.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris was the only other thing that I could remember that maybe could possibly help you. I mean,
you know, it's someday you'll see the reports and stuff. I'm sure because there's a lot of them that I did. That Chris isn't the only person that remembers stuff, and that when his memory. When he tells a story and it matches other people that he hasn't seen in years, and it matches their story, the stuff they remember, then you got to give it some credibility, right? And that's kind of what happened here.
okay, so we're
He's not the only one that remembers stuff. So.
Well, I mean, I'm not by no means saying that, hey, I have a perfect freaking memory, but I'm definitely not a planned, plotted murderer either.
Okay. That's what I'm just, is there another reason why this stuff would have went down besides, like what I mentioned? If, and, you know, like with your mom, she kind of wanted to go back into she didn't like the life she was leading. You know, it sounded like she wanted to go back into the drug.
Who didn't?
Your mom, because she didn't have a lot of money. Robert's work at delivering papers and stuff like that, and always fighting with him, and so like she was too happy. It was time to move on, but I don't know.
The only thing, and I used to tell my mother, was that it was like she resented Robert for all the years she went to visit him in prison, and that was like she resented him for it. I don't.
So
I don't really know. I don't know. Like
you don't remember being down in the basement during the murder?
Hell no. Why would I call you and tell you?
People call me and tell me way worse stuff than that. I don't know why. I don't know why they do, but you don't remember being down there when it happened. You don't remember maybe doing like a rehearsal the night before?
Oh, what?
Like a rehearsal?
No.
Like your mom directing something? Like,
No fucking
you
way.
should stand here. Chris, you should be there.
No fucking
This
way.
is what I'll do.
No fucking way.
Uh,
No fucking way.
What, if your memory's kind of foggy, though, it might have happened.
There's no way I would even do that.
Why?
There's no way. Because it's not in my character. I would never do that.
I'm not saying it was your idea.
I would
That's
never
not what
do
I'm
that.
saying.
I would never even practice, play, rehearsal, joke, or fucking kid about it. That's not my personality. No way in hell. Never.
So if your
Never.
mom wanted to do
Never. Never. Never, never, never. I would leave.
that, you would leave.
I would leave. I would leave out into the street. I would call somebody, another family member or something. I would leave before I got rehearsed and plotted and planned into something like that. There's no way.
You wouldn't go with your mom on that. You
There
know?
is no way. No way.
And do you remember anything about like your guys' long drive over to get rid of Roberto's body?
I've told y'all everything I remember.
And I'm just trying to jar your memory loose because I did, you know, that's what I do with some people. I'm like, remember, I don't like spoon feeding people or giving them info. But
Everything I can remember, I have honestly told you. You guys have asked me, and I've told you.
and that's what we do. We'll ask the same questions over and over again, hoping that something jars, something loose, and it does a lot. And that's why I do that. But you remember like your mom bringing anything on that long trip, like cleanup supplies or anything like that?
No.
No. Gloves?
I can't remember.
Diniane's calm demeanor is gone. Fear sets in. For the first time, she breaks down.
I'm asking you to remember, but I know you don't want to remember
I really can't.
because it sucks. I can tell Kristen want to remember too because it sucks. It really does.
I really can't.
You remember? What do you remember of the night there in the basement? What do you remember of that?
I remember coming down the stairs. I remember screaming at my mom.
What are you screaming at her about?
I don't even remember. I just remember yelling at her and asking her if she was fucking crazy. Screaming, are you fucking crazy? What is wrong with you? And just keep screaming at her and just kept screaming at her.
And you remember what you saw down there though?
I just remember seeing blood on the floor. The bottom of the stairs. That's all I can remember. I'm
As far as you know, your mom held on to that till she took it.
I'm really sorry. I
Well,
can't remember, and I really want to.
I know you don't want to.
No, I do. I want to. It's just not there. The data's not there.
Because, like, you know, I told you before, it's like, that's what I have to do is when somebody tells their story, usually by the time I talk to them, I know, even if I play dumb, I'm not quite as dumb as I act, but I know the answers to a lot of the questions I ask, you know. And the questions
I
that
definitely
asked,
did. I mean, I'm fucked up that I guess you think that or that you believe that I plotted, planned, rehearsed, and all this stuff.
well,
There's really
and that's another reason is people got reasons for everything, and there's reasons for everything. So, and I know that. I don't.
that is not something that I would do.
Well,
It's just.
it looks
not.
like you were part of this, though, Denine, and that's why I'm. Okay, you're part of this, then you're part of this, but why? That was the other big question. It was like, was it just because your mom's
I have
an
no
influence,
motive.
or because Roberto didn't like your lifestyle? I mean, I don't know.
The detective drops his final piece of evidence, DNA.
Just looking at that concrete patch there, do you remember any of that now? About laying that patch for your mom?
I don't recall laying a patch.
I don't remember anything of that, like Chris mixing it up for you, and you.
No, I really don't.
If I told you your DNA was in that patch, you know, when you're doing something like that, you sweat, and it's so sensitive now. They're testing now, it's so sensitive. But if I told you that your DNA was in there, would that surprise you?
Yes.
It would?
Yes.
Okay. Well, looks like yours is in there. Because that's definitely all, obviously the crime lab's in there, they're right there, but yeah, they found all kinds of stuff in there. So,
Yeah.
But even DNA evidence isn't enough. Denine regains composure and sticks to her story.
basically what they found supports Chris's story that he told. And other people I interviewed supports Chris's story that he told. Okay, it doesn't support what you were telling me.
I've told you everything I can remember. As much as I can remember.
That's it. So I'm trying to give you the last chance here, Denine. I really am. Because I'm telling you that, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that points a little different direction. I mean, I'm wondering if that's the case here. If you didn't tell me something you want to clear up. because, you know, when I told you that thing about telling your story and making sure, you know, anything you could say that would, where I could go back up your story and confirm it would help. And I told the same thing to Chris.
I did everything that I could. You know.
And I did confirm some stuff, like you really remember, and you told me about the basement. I think about you did tell me about the chipping up at the basement stuff. And as soon as I got home, I went to the house.
I couldn't remember. I mean, I can't remember more than what I've given you. And if that's what I've told you, that's what I told you, then, and it's helped you, then I'm glad. Because I told you then, because now I can't remember. And my accident was that traumatic. And I do suffer from that. But I've given and said all that I wish I could say more, or I wish I could remember more. God honest, I can't.
She won't budge. The interrogation is over. Before leaving, the detective lets her know what she's facing.
Chris was charged with murder too?
Yes. Yes, he is. And he's... Yeah, and that was another thing I was going to say to you. If there's some reason why, you know, whether you know why he helped or why, you know, I don't want to see anybody take any unnecessary blame either. Definitely.
I know you probably think I'm a lying bitch, but I swear to God, I've given you all I can remember.
I think you're still holding back some stuff because it doesn't make you look good. But I also think people got.
What else?
Well, I think the truth doesn't look favorable. The truth.
The truth already is not favorable. I mean, what I've given you is not favorable. So.
Well, it's even worse. I mean, I'm just telling you what I think. Okay, that's just what I think. But I just think, yeah, the full truth is even less favorable. It doesn't make you look good, and it doesn't make you look good when you...
How does trial and all that stuff work?
Oh gosh, that's...
Like when do you get... Is Chris already gone to trial? Or do we all have to be there?
It'll probably be separate. Everything will be separate.
Each individual will be separate?
Yeah. But yeah, Chris is already in our jail. Okay, and...
No, me? No. I need a court-appointed attorney. Are you fucking kidding me? I don't got money.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Murder? So you'd probably wait till you got to Michigan to get for those charges.
God.
For those charges.
If I'm convicted of murder, how many years do I have for that? Fucking life, right? Great.
Pretty
I
much.
love my mother more and more every day.
She's also given a chance to see what she'll be charged with.
Oh shit, I have the tabs on here. Actually, the highlighted stuff is, or most of the highlighted stuff is the charges. The actual charge, you got 3 charges. All relating from the same thing.
Oh my God. I think I'm gonna be sick to my stomach. Wow.
Yeah, it doesn't get more serious than that. So at some point, yeah, you're gonna have to be shipped up there. Nothing's over till it's over, okay?
Pray that the truth comes out and my mom finally gets what she deserves. And me and Chris don't
Right.
suffer this.
Despite looking her future straight in the eye, Denine has nothing else to say.
Oh my God, I can't believe
Like I said, I imagine probably anything you can think of to tell me will probably help you. So if you think of something, get a hold of me. Okay?
it. Yeah. Thanks.
Alright. Don't thank me, but
You gotta do your
maybe
job.
something we can do in the future. Okay, but okay.
Denine maintained her innocence to the end, but detectives had enough. In December 2021, Christopher McMillan accepted a plea deal and testified against Denine and Beverly. He was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 15 to 31 years. Beverly McCallum was arrested in Italy in 2020. After extradition, she was convicted in 2024 of second-degree murder and mutilation of a dead body. In 2021, Denine Ducharm was found guilty of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and mutilation of a dead body. She was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Denine appealed, arguing her life sentence was unconstitutional because she was only 21 at the time of the murder. She also claimed she hadn't received a fair trial. Both claims were rejected. County Prosecutor Douglas Lloyd noted that throughout the trial, Denine never took responsibility. Throughout the trial, the defendant decided to continuously play the blame game. She deflected all her responsibility and placed it solely on her mother. It's unfortunate to witness the defendant continue to not accept guilt for her actions, but I hope that the family finds a sense of justice in the outcome of this case. It took almost 20 years to solve the Jack in the Box case. Roberto Caraballo's family hasn't commented publicly, but it's easy to imagine their pain, especially Sicily's, who contacted police and set everything in motion. A man was murdered, a family destroyed, and Dinine's two younger sisters are left to pick up the pieces.